Tim from Visuals, a wine label based here in Asheville, North Carolina, has asked me to create a record to accompany their spring release.
A Chardonnay
They're calling
Absent from the Void.
This is a name that really resonates with
me. I've meditated
now for a week on
absent from the void.
I've thought a lot about what that phrase means. And I'm going to try to create a record that will heighten the experience of drinking absent from the void and really just being absent from the void. This is day one, I guess. I'm gonna start by doing some digital spelunking. I'm gonna try to find some sounds, some samples, some sound bites.
Digital spelunking. Digital spelunking.
I'm looking for sound bites, samples.
Anything that can get me thinking and feeling absent from the void.
All right, off I go into the digital catacombs.
The digital catacombs. Digital spelunking. Digital spelunking. What is it? Well, I guess it means digging through old floppy disk for interesting sounds. I really like the ones that were just made by people. They're not companies or professionally produced libraries, but just random samples that people made over the years. So I look for like boxes of old floppies and then load them into these old machines.
First, you gotta power them all on.
They make lots of noise, even before you're playing them. I'm looking for more daily travel sounds. Eerie auto effects is probably not that. Cops, robbers, car sounds, freeway traffic, that could be good. So we'll get it loaded up on the old emulator too. So start by hitting the disk function, and then we wait for it to load that portion of the firmware. Now we can select load disk. As you can see, it says
This will take a while.
And indeed, it does take a while. So while it's loading, I'm going to get to setting up for something else for this Void drone that hopefully within the next few weeks we can become absent from. Already, I think I've found some good starting points here. On the Akai S3K, I found a really good airplane patch. I feel like for some people, the sound of airplanes, air travel, jets is there every day. If you live near an airport or you just work somewhere to where you need to fly often. So I'm pretty excited about this. It's pretty fun to play, and I think I can work with that. On the E2, I found this incredible library of automobile sounds. It's just listed as auto ambience. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's day 2, working on this Visuals record. And I've got quite a collection of daily sounds. You can hear a few of them here. Got some telephones. appliances, some good car sound. There's a lot of sounds here to dig through. And I'm about to arrange them into something that sort of approximates the human experience. Waking up, how do we wake up? Most of us wake up with alarms or clocks or dogs or children. We don't wake up on our own, go to jobs, schools, whatever it is. But then I was also thinking, if I'm going to coalesce this into a sort of comforting drone of the void, I need to figure out some sort of frequency for that drone. So I was looking on the internet, and people have largely decided that the frequency of 432 hertz is the most calming and soothing of tones of frequencies. It says here, 432 hertz resonates with the Schumann resonance of 8 hertz and is known for its deeply calming and soothing effects. A recent double-blind study from Italy showed that music tuned to
432 hertz slows down the heart rate
compared to 440 hertz. So I'm tuning to 432 hertz. There were some other frequencies mentioned. It's 639 hertz for rebalancing positive energy, 528 hertz for transformation and deep healing. I might try 528 as well. I'm going to start with 432 hertz just as a starting point. So I've got a tuner here in Ableton Live, and I've referenced it to 432 hertz. I've tuned up my Strega, my zero control, my modular system to 432 hertz. I've tuned up my OB8 to 432 hertz, and we'll see how it all works out. I headed up to Durham to play this festival. And at the festival, I played this system right here, my live system, which is a collection of Make Noise modules plus this Expert Sleepers ES8. And I really enjoyed doing my live set. I felt really connected to the instrument. And it's already set up to do 3 voices with my XPO Optimix combo here, my Strega here, and then my bass voice, which is an STO, an LXD, and a contour. And then a sort of tape and micro sound that's happening here. And I'm using the ES8 to play back all the patterns from Breaking as a Memory and a couple of tracks off of Old Cool Echoes. I transcribed those patterns. Those patterns were originally created on a zero control and or a René, and at times the Ableton arpeggiator. So I transcribed those all so that I could just use CV tools and have Ableton be sort of like my pattern memory that sends them out to my 3 voices, which I can play and manipulate in real time. It's an enjoyable way to perform those tracks to where somebody could hear them and potentially recognize a melody, but they're going to hear them in a more raw, stripped down, simpler way. And what I realized is that maybe that's a more powerful way to present a piece of music, a pattern, a collection of patterns, of movement, a feeling, and energy. I've decided I'm going to try to do this Absent from the Void record using this live system, just because it's an instrument that I feel really comfortable with and I know really well. And I also just like the kind of simple, minimal sound that it has. It's very raw sounding. As you can see, there's not really any effects in here. It's mostly just voices. And so I probably will end up doing some post-production on it to make it sound more like a record. It's day 5. I didn't get a whole lot done day 4, but I do feel good about where things are going. I might have figured out why I always want to play these lightning fast patterns. You know, stuff like I think it's just something about the power of sequencing and arpeggiating with a synthesizer kind of takes me back to wanting to be able to play guitar like Eddie Van Halen when I was a kid. Just being able to just throw these phrases out like lightning, just these powerful, bright, emotional phrases. And so all I really need for that is what I have here. I've got my audio interface, this computer running Ableton Live, and the push, which I'm using to write the patterns. Previously, I have been using the 0 control to write all my patterns, and I do still really enjoy that. There's something interactive about it that I really like. But for this piece, I'm going to do it all using the push. And then, as you can see, I've created an analog way to mark out notes that I don't want to play so I don't hit bad notes. So I can know that I like these notes. I like those notes, but I'm not into these. At least not for this piece. Probably in another piece. So by putting the coins on top of them, it just lets me know not to play those notes. Now I am still using the OB8 a little bit on this. And I guess to keep with that Eddie Van Halen motif, maybe, I don't know. It just sounds good to me right now. It's this simple setup. It just feels really expressive to me. And since time is of the essence in creating this bit of music, this material for this visuals record might end up being pretty raw.